Welcome everybody to another Wedding Connections interview. This one is sponsored by All Dressed in White Bridal Shows. And my name is Nina Perez from Dance Today. And today I have Walter Najarro from Pixel Productions. And he's going to talk to us all about wedding photography, videography, how to look at this. And I have to say, I have checked out their websites and I have seen so many 5-star reviews that I was impressed, because usually, nobody scores perfect scores, but this website and these guys, this team is amazing. I just couldn't stop scrolling and looking at every single wedding and every single event that they've been to. So I am very excited to talk to you, Walter. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And we're just so excited to share what we've experienced over the last couple of years and with everybody that's watching this.
So tell me a little bit about how long you've been in the industry. I mean, your pictures say, for me, like you have a lot of experience and creativity, but tell me the
Yeah.
story of how Pixel Productions kind of was founded.
Yeah, I'm currently 36. When I was around 24, 25, I actually met my business partner now. His name is Gerardo. And at that time, it was kind of the turn of the cinema world, the photography world. We went from old cameras to the new 4K cameras. Like there was like a really big jump in technology, and we just so happened to be in that jump. And so for me, I grabbed the newest camera at that time, and we just kind of connected with him, and we just kind of hit it off. And I'm like, hey, we should shoot together. That's just, photographers always do that. Hey, we should shoot together. We should do a. And we just collaborated on a wedding that we did overseas, and that was kind of the beginning of us discovering that there was actually, we both had a similar passion for photography and cinematography at that time. And that kind of led to the creation. Over conversations over the years, we just decided, hey, why don't we just create a company that can go anywhere in the world and shoot this stuff. And so that's kind of what began. And then Gerardo got married to Lilian, who's another owner. It's all three of us. We created this business the way it is now.
Wonderful. And so can you tell me a little bit about each personality? So you have Lilian and Jerry and yourself, and how are you guys different, and how do you guys work together to create such beautiful photos?
Yeah, you know what? This is the thing about, photography, that one of the things that I got right away from the beginning, and we all kind of just hit it off, is we were friends first. Before we even had a dream of shooting, we all got along. We all have our differences because we will clash from time to time. But Jerry is a very technical individual. He loves the newest technology. He knows the newest lens, the newest setting on a camera. I've seen Gerardo pick up a camera from another photographer and say, hey, by the way, did you know your camera could do this? And they're like, I didn't even know that. And
That's
so
wonderful.
it's awesome because we maximize our gear. And so Gerardo is amazing at that, at discovering new lenses, new tripods. We're going to use a new this and a new that, and new screens, and so he's very into the technical. Let's get it to like cinema quality when we film or when we photograph. Let's get it to there. Lilian is, comes from a fashion kind of background as well. She's an expert at basically, poses, color grading, what works, what doesn't, location, framing, which is extremely important when we talk about photos. We all shoot photo and video alike, but we've like designated her. And I think it's also like I think women in general just have an eye for things that men,
I was
we
gonna
miss. Like,
say, it's a female perspective, right? Another
absolutely.
point of view. They're very different from the male brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, me and Jerry would be more like, oh, look, let's get this really cool shot of this car. Let's say we're filming like an automobile, and Lilian will look at it and say, well, that's not that impressive. But if there's a bride there, Lilian just has an eye, and she's always training us,
Mhm.
and we're all willing to be humble to learn from one another. He has it. And then when it comes to me, I'm kind of like a jack of all trades, but I mostly focus on the relationship aspect. So for me, it's about how do I run something, and how do we keep a culture that's healthy in our team? How do we grow and not grow that it's so big that you can never get in touch with us? You send us an email and it takes us 14 days to answer. Like for me, it's communicating with our clients, making sure that the deliveries are on point, and of course, I nerd out on gear too, but it's just, to build a company that can really cover a lot of areas, we all stay in our lane. We do what we're strong at, and we just learn off each other. So that's kind of the vibe here at Pixel.
Even in my dance class, I always tell the students, you're not just going to learn from me, you're going to learn from each other, and also you're
Yeah.
going to learn from yourself. And I'm sure that you guys have this culture and you probably learn a lot from the couples too, maybe a
Oh, yeah.
certain energy, and then they do a pose and you're like, that's a really good pose for every couple to try.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a
We,
wonderful,
we
wonderful
try to,
culture.
we try to keep it fun. Like one of the things that I love about our team is that we're all people. Like, we're not just photographers and like, see you later, I'll see you tomorrow at 7 when we shoot. It's like our lives are kind of intertwined. And so we'll hang out together, we'll go eat together, we'll go travel together if we have to, and so this allows us to really get to know each other, what we all like. The point is, like, I want to keep the atmosphere fun. We work really, really hard to produce really, really incredible content. And if we're not having fun doing it, and we're not like, it doesn't, blow me away or give me a smile when I watch it, then I just feel like we're missing the mark. And I think, like, the passion for what we do, it has to be in a fun atmosphere. And so I think that's like the way we like to keep it.
And that's how creativity flows. I mean,
Absolutely.
in my industry, you can't create a dance if you're actually stressed out, and you can't actually dance very well
Um,
if your muscles
doesn't
are
work.
tense. So if
No, it
you're
doesn't
having
work.
fun and you're relaxed, then everything goes better. Nice.
Mhm.
So on your website, I saw lots of testimonials, a lot of 5.0 reviews, like 5-star reviews, and they talked about this wow factor. Can
Yeah.
you tell me a little bit? And I can see that fun makes probably for great pictures, but tell me a little bit more about your wow factor.
And we have a motto at Pixel, which is basically, every time that you sit down and you look at your work, you should wow. Like, your emotions should, like, something needs to be produced and stirred when you see our photography or you see our cinematography. Especially here in Vancouver, there's like lots of venues that have been overshot. And sometimes the bride says, oh, I saw this shot at this staircase. That's good, but I want to shoot it differently because I want to show you something that's never been seen. Or they'll be like, oh, the wedding planner, or let's say the venue person might say, hey, there's like a really cool area in the back that you can shoot. But if I go online on Google, I can see that 50 photographers shot the exact same shot. And so for me, the wow factor comes by getting you to do something that I have not seen yet at that venue, by putting you in a situation where you might feel uncomfortable at that moment because maybe you're standing on ground that's like a little squishy, but you got to trust that I am on my knees in an angle that otherwise you'd say, how did they shoot this? And I think that is how you get the wow factor. It's putting the couple in a situation where they are totally trusting us and they are enjoying their wedding, their moment, and just letting us do magic. And if there's a scene that doesn't really tell me the wow factor, we try to remove it. We'll add something else
Yeah.
to it. And so another way that we also create the wow factor is by shooting candid. A lot of couples, we find that always are like, hey, like, I don't really know how to pose, and like, I really need help. And it's like, that's great. Like, we can pose you, but I want you to be you. And I want to capture you in your element, laughing, smiling with your partner. Sometimes we'll be like, hey, crack a joke, say a joke to her in her ear. And then she'll be like, oh, he doesn't tell good jokes. Ha ha ha. And then that's the shot I want.
Right.
Like, I want it when it's in the moment. I don't want it so staged, because we live in a world where right now everything's really rehearsed,
Yes.
and it's like, smile, the same smile every time. And I go, like, I told the bride last week, I said, you have a beautiful smile. She's like, oh, I just don't. And she's like, oh, I thank you. And then I'm like, look, just believe me. She's like, I just don't know if I like it. And she was wearing the most amazing dress, but she would not open her mouth, like, not even like a little wincy. And it was like halfway through her session, she just, like, I think that something just broke in her, like, and she just relaxed. And sometimes it takes that long for the couple to like, like, I can just be myself. Boom, that's the shot I want. And when we were showing her her photos or her videos, she was just like the wow factor. Like, I could see she was getting a little teary-eyed. And that's how we create that. It's just, let us shoot you in your element. It's always going to be better. And yes, of course, we're going to do some post stuff, but for the most part, we want to shoot candid.
Yeah, and I saw also that made me think, oh, interesting. You guys, you have drones, you have like you
Hmm.
create reels and Instagram reels and things like that for the couples. And I thought
Yeah.
that is an extra thing I haven't seen other photographers put in their packages. So that created a little bit of a wow factor for me. I thought, These guys are
Yeah, I
not
mean,
just the
it covers.
regular, they go above and beyond with
Mhm.
extra things.
Like, especially when we know that we can give you more. Sometimes we'll just make a reel for them and be like, hey, look, check out this reel that we made for you. It's, if we know they're active, then we'll give it to them because we know that they're gonna definitely post it. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great. If you were gonna say, how did you film that? And that's the question, like, I love. How did you film that?
Mm.
How did you guys get that? That makes me like happy in my heart.
That's great. Now, everybody knows that they should budget for photography and video, but I want you to tell us a little bit, teach us a little bit about how we should be valuing photography and cinematography, because sometimes people let the budget dictate
Yeah.
versus like, how do you want to think about this really? What are they really buying?
Yeah, and you know what? When it comes to like photography and cinematography, I think I don't want to use the C word, COVID, but COVID changed a lot of it for a lot of people. Video like became like a really higher priority.
Yes.
We had weddings that were destination weddings where people were like, I really want to remember this moment, not just with a photograph, but I want to remember it with cinematography. One of the things that I would always tell couples, and I always tell them, is how would you like this to be remembered in 10 years? And right now we're at the point we start hearing about AI, you start hearing about all these crazy things in the market, like just evolving very rapidly. And I always tell people, if we are trying to make material that is going to be relevant in 10, 15 years from now. I think Pixel's always been that company that people are like, you guys are shooting in a way that we've never really seen, or we've seen in film, like in movies. But to apply that into a wedding, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, yeah, it is, isn't it? But you would want to watch this 10 years from now. And so I think what people need to do is when they think about what type of budget they're going to assign, obviously assign something that you can have, but at the same time, like you should put it in the top of your priority list. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because who cares if you're wearing a beautiful dress? If I can't see that dress in its glory, there's no point.
Right.
Right? Oh, I'm getting married at Swanee Set. I'm getting married at this on top of a mountain. Great. But if no one filmed it, how would you remember it? Oh, it was a nice memory. Like I don't remember everything that happened when I went to Europe for like a month. I wish I could remember it, but the human brain doesn't work like that. I took a trip to Europe, and when I came back, I was like, what did I even do? It was a blur, right?
Yeah.
And so wedding days are exactly like that.
Mm.
You have no idea how many times a bride will say to me, Walter, where did time go?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we always tell the bride and the groom, enjoy every second of your wedding. Things might go wrong. The flower maybe got there late. Someone spilled some wine. Some things happen. We know this. You're in the wedding industry. But our job is to capture it all and to give you a memory, a glimpse. And so every single time that we show our work to a couple, families, they go, oh my God, I totally forgot about that thing that happened. And
Mm-hmm.
so you can never, ever replace what we do and assign a value to it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
say this one story that happened to a couple of ours, and it's a sad and good and a happy story. But we did a wedding for a couple that they were hesitant about cinematography, and at the end of the day, they're like, you know what, let's do it. It's incredible. We love your work, so we went to film it. And it just so happened that we delivered everything. They were happy. Everything was great. 6 months later, the brother of the groom called me and said, hey, I would like you to do my wedding as well. And I said, oh, that's awesome. And I said, hey, so how's your family? How's your mom? How's your dad? Oh, and they were like hesitant. I said, sorry, did I miss something? And he's like, no, it's just my mom passed away
Oh,
3 months ago.
right.
And I'm like, I am so sorry. And he's like, yeah, well, actually, the reason we were hiring you is because you guys had amazing footage of my mom, and I would like to incorporate that into my film. And I was just like,
Oh
oh,
my God, you just gave me goosebumps.
right. How beautiful was it that I could give this brother? And what we did is, we're going to film it because it's coming up. But when we film it, we're going to film it in a way where it's like his mom was there,
Oh, wow.
and to hear her voice, to hear her talk, it's just you cannot put a price on that. We don't know. And that's the thing with especially with cinematography and photography, you just don't know if that's going to be a memory that you're going to want to see in 5, 10 years, and it's gone. Like if you didn't capture it, it's gone.
It's gone.
And for us, we always try going over the top. if a couple's like, hey, I just want like a 5-minute video, we'll send them like an 8-minute video. And they're like, oh, you send me 3 extra minutes. I don't think that was in the contract. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Forget about the contract. I'm giving you more content because it was beautiful what we did for you. And I think that's, I would wish that people would value photography and cinematography specifically like that. You know, you're getting married once and for all. That's the way I grew up in my family, like thinking that marriage is once and that's it. And nobody gets married thinking, oh, I'm going to get married again. No, that is the day that you are putting all in, right? And so we want to just capture that to the best. And think about it 10 years from now, when if your kids are there, they're going to want to watch that. They're going to see what happened. And if you have no memory of it, that's just, it's a shame.
Okay, so I'm totally sold and definitely having videography besides photos. So we got a budget now. Couples that are hearing this, you have to budget for both. And can you give us a ballpark? Like, where should we start thinking if you want a photographer and videographer? What is the beginning number?
Number one is, it's not about pixel here. It's just any photographer. You have to love their work.
Right.
Period. If you don't love their work, it doesn't matter if you paid half of what someone else would charge you, you pay too much.
Right.
It's your wedding day. And so you need to value that one person, whoever that you assign to, is responsible for capturing probably the most important day of your life. And you can't underestimate that, right? Because we've been in the industry long enough to know that we don't get hired for let's say for photography, but cinematography. And then we're being called after it saying, hey, by the way, I know I love the video. By the way, did you take a photo of me? Because I just didn't really like the photos the way they turned out. Do you love the work of this person? If you do, then obviously there's a rate. There's like a kind of a going rate for someone who really, really knows what they're doing and someone who's just like an amateur starting out and is kind of like, you're kind of like a guinea pig for them, for their portfolio. But I would say, here in Vancouver, I would say if you're looking for like what you see on our website, like great photos and an amazing video, you should budget at least, I would say $5,000 to $7,000 for it. A wedding dress is like, some people are spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a wedding dress.
Yeah.
For you to have a photographer and cinematographer show up for $6,000 is a steal of a deal, because they are going to show what you just purchased, and they're going to show it in all of its glory. Your beads, your arrangement on the front, the back, your ornament, your design, you walking in with the big train. Like, that's the whole idea. Like, the whole idea is for someone to show you what that day looked like. And so I would say, probably $5,000 to $7,000 to get someone who knows what they're doing. Yes.
Wonderful. And you guys are going to be at the All Dressed in White wedding show, and we have them 3-4 times a year. Can you tell us, are there any specials or any things that you give to the couples that show up to the wedding show to meet you and talk?
Yes, we do. When they walk into All Dressed in White, all the prices that you see there are 30% off what we normally would charge if you did not come to the show. And so All Dressed in White, for us, it's like every single time we go, oh, we want to book, but at the same time, you're like, as an owner that you're giving 30% away. And so a lot of brides, like they'll come in and they're looking and they're looking at our work, and it's not like we mark up so that we can discount. Like, those are our rates, and then we discount from there. And so I always say, like, whoever goes to All Dressed in White gets the steal, gets like the steal of the deal.
And it's so surprising how many people don't go there to purchase, when I'm like, the prices that I give in my booth are like $500-$600 off regular prices.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, we do not offer this deal online. We do not offer this deal anywhere else. You have to book today. And a lot of people come with that idea of, I'm just going to look and meet. And sometimes I think you need to come with the idea of, I kind of want to see what I want, but if I find someone that impresses me, I need to book them.
Well, I think also it's part of the culture. Like, we don't like to shop at malls anymore. We don't like to, we're kind of skeptical. Like, we'll go to Best Buy, let's say, and buy a camera. But before I buy it, I go to Google and I search if anybody else has it, $20 cheaper than me, $10 cheaper than me. And what people forget is, like, the camera's right in front. You're holding it. It's in your hands. You can just check out, and yes, someone might give you $20 less over there, but it's going to take 14 days. It's going to be shipped to you. You don't know if it's going to be broken, warranty, and so on. And so I think that these wedding shows, I think that a lot of brides, they come like a little skeptical. Like, we're the professionals. Like, we're here to help you because we know how complicated it can be. Look at our work. We're at the wedding show. You're getting 30% off. book us. It's a steal of a deal, steal of a lifetime. Take
I
it.
agree. I agree. And, sometimes I advise couples to just even book the consultation or whatever,
Yeah,
book something at the show, and then go to the website. You will be super impressed by their website, which is right there below. And then you can even research them more. But if you go to the All Dressed in White wedding show, know that there's going to be deals that are not offered anywhere. And then also you
true.
get to ask us questions and meet us and see our energy and how we are. Are we clicking? That's kind of more telling of the relationship you're going to have than everything else, the price or the all of that.
Can I tell you a cool story about something that happened at an All Dressed in White show? So
Sure.
this couple shows up and she says to me, "Hey, like you guys are phenomenal. I can't even believe that these prices are what you're offering. We want to book you like right away, like on the spot." And so they booked us, and then they realized that they probably should go have this wedding in Italy. This is not a joke. We're actually shooting this wedding in September. So she's like, "Hey, if I went to Italy and I got married in Florence, because it's cheaper for have my venue, if I flew you guys out,
Mhm.
paid for your hotels and your transfers, it's actually cheaper than me having the wedding here in like Whistler. She wanted to have it." And I said, "Yeah." And she's like,
Mhm.
But would I still get the all dressed in white price?" I'm like, "Yeah, we want to travel." And so this person was able to capitalize on a deal that she got an all dressed in white to shoot her wedding in Italy. And so we're going to Italy to shoot this wedding. And just to give you some perspective, we gave her, I think it was $5,000 for one photographer, one videographer. That was the price that we were offering at that show
Mhm.
for a short movie and photography for her wedding day. And a one photographer in Florence is 3,000 euros for 8 hours.
Oh, wow.
Just photography. So I think that she got a quote there locally, and it was like 8,000 euros to shoot at her venue. This
Mhm.
incredible resort. But this is the thing, people need to capitalize on the deals that vendors are giving at these shows. Like, we're not showing up like to be stingy. Like, no, we're not giving. Like, we are there because we want to fill our schedule too, and
Yeah.
we want to help people that are coming in. And we are the professionals. Like, Nina, you know this. Someone's like, "I've seen you dance at the show." Like, if someone said, "No, no, like, Nina, are you sure that your hips are supposed to move like that?" I'd be like, "You serious? Come on."
Yeah, yeah,
Nina
yeah,
is the
yeah.
professional, right? And that's
Mhm.
the thing. I think I would really encourage couples to come in and know these vendors want your business and
Mhm.
they are prepared. And I love what you said there about booking something right away. Like, even a consultation. "Hey, can I get on a call with you guys this week?" Like, our
Exactly.
team, all of our team is usually there. Our administrators there. We can book you in right away. And it's something that we are, like I said, we're really flexible. We're willing to be reasonable if for whatever reason. So we're
Yeah.
flexible.
Well, thank you so much, Walter. You have shared lots of beautiful stories and you have a wealth of knowledge. And I really encourage everybody watching this to go check out their website and get in touch with these guys. I also saw that they don't only do weddings and multi-day weddings, they also do corporate events. They also do like social media shots and things. They are just a full service company. So check them out and also come meet us in the next All Dressed in White show.
Yes.
Thank you so, so much. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.